Welcome back, Coggin.
As quarter one comes to a close, we're bringing you an update on the first couple months of school. First up, we have an interview with our new social studies teacher, Mrs. Noheimer.
She's being interviewed by freshman reporter Annika Liss.
Hello, today we're going to be interviewing Mrs. Noheimer, the new global studies teacher at Coggin. So, how have your first few weeks here been?
My first few weeks at Coggin Regional High School have been great. Students are nice, they do what they're supposed to do, which makes my job a lot easier. I work with great people. So far, I've really enjoyed my experience.
So glad to hear that. So why did you decide to move from Bolton to Coggin?
I live in Wallingford, Connecticut, and although I really like teaching at Bolton High School, the commute is much easier. It's gone from about 45 minutes for my ride to about 10 minutes, which is just much less time in the car, and it's making my life a lot easier.
I can imagine. Do you have a favorite book or book series?
So my favorite book right now is probably anything by Doris Kearns Goodwin. She is a history author, and I've read Leadership in Turbulent Times, The Bully Pulpit, and I want to read some more of her books. I mean, as a history teacher, I admit I like reading history books.
What made you decide to become a social studies teacher?
So I always knew I wanted to be I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a social studies teacher. There was a period of time when I thought I wanted to be a PE teacher, but I realized that students are a little different in a classroom than they are in a gym. My mom also taught 6th grade social studies for almost 40 years in Meriden, Connecticut, and the reason I'm a teacher today is definitely because of her.
Are there any topics you're really excited to teach this year?
I'm excited to teach global studies this year. I have 4 global studies classes. It's a course I haven't taught before, but I'm excited just because we're learning about contemporary countries, the world, current events, and it's very applicable to students' lives. And as they grow up, I hope they know where countries are in the world, what type of government they have, why the creation of Israel impacts us today. So I'm looking forward to that course the most.
And what advice would you give to your high school self?
I would definitely say to be confident and to believe in yourself. I think I am a confident person, and I think you see that in class. However, I think about myself in high school and middle school, and if I knew the answer to a question, I always wasn't the first to raise my hand. And I wish I did. I wish I was okay to make mistakes and to fail in a class, trying my best, obviously, and just to have believed in myself a little more. And I look at some of the young women in high school, and that's the most important advice I can give to them, is to be yourself and to believe in yourself and to be confident in yourself.
That's really good advice.
Thanks, Annika.
You're welcome. So I know you use a flip phone instead of smartphone. What made you make that decision?
Okay, so I have a flip phone instead of a smartphone, and I see so many people, teenagers, adults, who are addicted to their cell phones. And I just need a cell phone to call my mom, to call my husband every once in a while, and to call 911 in case there's an emergency. And a flip phone, it does it. So I don't want to be that parent who's always on their phone instead of spending time with their kids. I want to model good behavior for my students and for my kids at home. So that is why I have a flip phone instead of a smartphone.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I'm looking forward to working at Coggin Regional High School. I'm looking forward to meeting more students, learning the names of everyone, learning the names of some of my colleagues because I haven't met everyone yet. And I'm just looking forward to spending time here.
Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone who set it up.
Thanks, Annika.
Now on to some highlights from our fall 2021 sports season.
After COVID-19, the Durham Fair returned for its 101st year.
I had the pleasure of attending this fair this year along with many of our student body and faculty. Here's how it went.
Hey, we're here for DATV at the 101st Durham Fair, and we're about to hit some rides. Let's go. Now let's go talk to some fairgoers, volunteers, and vendors about how it feels to be back at the Durham Fair.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Tim Fisher.
And you're a teacher at Coggins-Chug, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm the band director.
So, how does it feel to be back at the fair?
I feel great to be back at the fair because we get to play music and we get to have fun here. The audience loves us and the students are working so hard and very impressive in their play.
What do you think it means for like you and the community just to have the fair back after all this time?
It's great. You can tell the whole community is happy to have these days back where they can come and spend time together.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ellie Castiglia.
And you're a senior at Coggins-Chug?
Yes.
So, how does it feel to be back at the fair?
It's definitely different coming back to the fair from being away for what feels like so long. But it's like really nice because it gives another sense of community and togetherness that we were missing.
Are you volunteering or performing or anything?
Yes, so I performed with the show choir and the a cappella groups this morning, and we'll be performing again tomorrow.
Are you volunteering anywhere?
Oh, so I'm volunteering at the Durham Middlefield Youth and Family Services Apple Crisp and Apple Cider booth, and I'm also going to be volunteering at the Durham Exchange Club.
Hi, what's your name?
Lee Hudson.
And how long have you been selling here in the commercial booth for the fair?
I've been in this fair for 25 years.
Wow. How does it feel to be back at the fair?
Oh, I missed doing fairs all last year. I didn't do a thing. It was terrible for most people.
Okay, thank you. That's it. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Chris Bailey.
And what are you doing here at the fair?
So, at the moment, I'm one of the members of the art committee here, where we bring in art from the public and display it for people to see. We judge it. It's a lot of fun. We get to meet a lot of people and see a lot of great art.
How many years have you been doing this?
13 years, I believe.
So, how does it feel to be back?
Oh, it's great. You know, it was rough last year, not being able to do anything. The fair weekend came and went, and we sort of sat around and went, what do we do? But so it's great to be back.
And what do you think this fair just means to the community as like a whole?
I think for most of the community, it's one of the reasons why they're here in Durham. You come here, you know, if you come and you're annoyed by the fair, then you didn't think about why you came. Because it's a great event, and so much of the community is involved between all the various community booths where they sell stuff to raise money for various organizations, as they're involved volunteering. I think it's great for the community.
Thank you so much.
Clearly the fair means a lot to a lot of people. We're so glad it's back.
It sure was fun. Now on to Ms. McCarthy for the Library Spotlight.
Welcome back to the library, folks. I am Ms. McCarthy, and I have 3 recommendations for you this month of new arrivals that we've just gotten in. The first is from Lin-Manuel Miranda, of Hamilton fame, of course. And this it's certainly a quick read. It's a collection of his tweets. I guess back a couple of years ago, he started tweeting early morning and just before bedtime, sort of encouraging tweets. So if you're in a place where you're not feeling good about yourself, this is an easy read, and it certainly picked up my spirits, and it's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Second choice is the first volume of President Obama's memoir of his presidential years. It covers the campaign, and the first, I'm guessing most of the first term of his presidency. I am currently listening to this as an audible selection, so I get to hear his voice in my head, and all sorts of behind the scenes. If you're interested in how the White House and politics actually work, you want to hear this. Lastly, a book I loved. I read it a couple of years ago. This is Glenn Weldon's The Caped Crusade and the Batman and the Rise of Nerd Culture. Glenn Weldon is a writer for NPR. He reviews books and comics, and I love him. He's also the host of NPR's Pop Culture Happy Hour, and he is, just as I am, a comic book nerd. So he here traces the history of Batman from the early years in the comics to the campy TV show in the 60s to the Christopher Nolan movies and everything in between. And as he's doing that, discusses the rise of nerds. When I was a kid, nerds were not popular. And now we rule the world. Now the MCU is the biggest thing in movies, the biggest moneymaker, and we basically rule the world. So read this book. You will love it if you are even remotely a Batman or comics fan. That's it for this time. Come on back next month. I'll have some new selections for you. Talk to you then.
Hey Christine, have you found out what the musical is yet?
I just did. Here's Jenny and Lizio to break the news to you all.
Breaking news for all of our theater-loving devils out there. The musical this year will be Emma, the pop musical. Based off of the classic Jane Austen novel, Emma, the pop musical follows high school senior Emma as she plays matchmaker for sophomore Harriet. In her efforts to find love for her friends, will she be able to find her own? Featuring music from pop stars like Katy Perry and Sarah Bareilles, this year's musical is sure to be a hit. The show is set to take place on April 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, so stay tuned for more information about the production. If you have any questions, see Miss Schilling. With that, that's our A&E segment, so back to the studio.
What a great start to our year.
Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you at the end of next quarter.